We also have OMB director Russ Vought. I always hear it pronounced either way, Vought or vote.
I've always thought vote.
Vote?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's vote too. But he's talking about where our tax dollars are going.
This kind of stuff.
This is good stuff.
It is critical that this body and the American people writ large understand that many foreign aid programs use benevolent-sounding titles to hide truly appalling activity that is not in line with American interest. For example, under the guise of so-called preventative care within PEPFAR program, Americans have been funding the following: $5.5 million to LGBTQ advocacy in Uganda.
That's good.
$800,000 for transgender people, sex workers, and their clients in Nepal.
Pause it for a second. And their clients? Wait, the sex workers? Okay, yeah. I could go with the sex workers in Nepal. But their clients now? I've got to support them too?
Everybody needs help, man. Everybody.
That is incredible. Start this from the beginning because, well, at least the beginning of the numbers that he gives. You don't have to do the very first part, but listen to this list. Really pay attention here to what we're funding.
To hide truly appalling activity that is not in line with American interest.
Okay.
For example, under the guise of so-called preventative care within PEPFAR program, Americans have been funding the following: $5.5 million to LGBTQ advocacy in Uganda.
Okay.
$800,000 for transgender people, sex workers, and their clients in Nepal. $3.6 for LGBTQ activism, free training in pastry cooking, psychosocial counseling, a cyber cafe, and the dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti.
Pause it.
And 1.1, it is critical that this body...
Do you have a problem with the dance focus groups for male prostitutes?
No, not as long as they're making pastries. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna...
Seriously.
I'm never gonna go against pastries. I love pastries, and so... I'm always in favor of delicious pastries, no matter who they're coming from. That is And listen to this
your tax dollars
stuff.
At work under the Biden administration.
All right, let him go.
Social counseling, a cyber cafe, and the dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti.
Dance focus groups
and
for male prostitutes.
And 1.1
million
million
words
to produce
together.
Gender transformation in diverse social and behavior change report, which advocates against, quote, gender blindness. Most Americans would be shocked and appalled to learn that their tax dollars,
I think we're all fine with
money they thought was going to medical care, was actually going to far-left activism, population control, and sex workers. To be clear, no life-saving treatment will be impacted by this this rescissions package. Anyone currently receiving life-saving treatment will continue to receive that treatment.
Okay, good.
You can still dance, too.
That was okay. But what about male prostitutes? Can they also be in the interpretive dance, and we're going to pay for it?
Unless you cut off funding.
Yeah, I don't want to. That only adds up to $9.4 billion. Get off us, would you please? It's $9.4 billion. What is that among male prostitute dancers?
And their clients.
And their clients in Nepal and Uganda. Jeez. Here was part 2 of Russ Vought.
Other examples of the type of spending proposed for rescissions are almost comically wasteful.
Wait, that wasn't...
For example, complex crisis funding money went to voter ID in Haiti. Development assistance funding has been used for net zero cities in Mexico, electric buses in Rwanda, and critic powder in Madagascar. Global health money went to the International Planned Parenthood Foundation and UNFPA. AICA funding went to social media mentorship in Serbia and Belarus.
Good.
The Clean Technology Fund was used for wind farms in Ukraine.
Okay.
The list goes on.
What, do you hate wind?
The American people didn't fund this.
Or farms.
They didn't intend to, at least. They didn't vote to continue the Washington status quo. The entire federal government must be responsible with each taxpayer dollar that comes to Washington. The American people voted for change. President Trump stands ready to put our fiscal house back in order and put the American taxpayer first.
Wow. That is stunning. That's a stunning list. I mean, we read a list of some of this stuff before. Some of those are brand new to me, though. I hadn't even heard some of those. I'm appalled that we're trying to take away the funding to male whores in Nepal and their clients.
And their clients.
How dare you?
The reason
How dare you
weren't aware of the entirety of that list is because you just go in there, all higgledy-piggledy with a machete, and just start cut. You don't even look to see if you're affecting male prostitutes.
I'm not using a scalpel with this.
And their clients.
No, you're right. I was too careless. You're right. Went in with a machete when a scalpel was necessary. It's only 9.4 billion. Leave it alone.